Hi, Dave McIntosh here again. I don't know about you, but spring is my favorite time of year. I don't know whether it's because winter is leaving and I can't wait, or it's because I enjoy the colors and the freshness of new life in the garden. I love seeing the flowers start to poke their heads through the ground and color starting to come back into my world. In this video, we are going to look at some of the spring flowers in my neck of the woods and the colors and the smells that they bring. I'm going to try and not talk too much in this video and let the photos do the talking. So come along with me and enjoy some of the colors and smells of spring. Oh, I forgot. You can't smell the flowers in my videos, but if you get outside on your own and do some discovering, you will be able to enjoy the smells of spring as well. So come on, let's get going. But don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel if you like this video. One of the first flowers of the year are the snowdrops. They come up even before all the snow is gone sometimes. They are these little white bells with a touch of green at the tips of the petals. I love it when I see them, as I know that winter is almost over. The crocus aren't far behind. They love the cooler weather. They come in different colors, blue, purple, and yellow, etc. While they are bigger than the snowdrops, they aren't big, but they sure do brighten up the garden. The daffodils, or narcissus, are another early riser. Again, they come in all different colors, but yellow is one of the most common. The paperwhites are really a delight. Often you find daffodils growing in the wild, but you see them mostly planted in clumps in the garden. There are also hyacinths and grape hyacinths. They are quite different in size and shape. The hyacinths come in different colors, but the grape hyacinths are almost always purple, at least in my garden. I love hyacinths because of the way the blooms open up. The tulips are also a joy to see. They can be planted in clumps or in rows. Sometimes the tulips are planted in massive garden beds with the same color all together and a different color in a massive group right next to it. Sometimes they are planted in rows a few feet wide in one color and then another row next to it in a different color. There are also a number of tulip festivals around the country, but Holland is the country to go to if you're into tulips. All of the above flowers are grown from bulbs and so are planted in the fall, and then they come up in the spring. But some people love to leave them in the ground all summer long and let them come up naturally in the spring. This works, but over time they lose their energy and so aren't as big or as hardy as they would be planted fresh. One of the flowers that's easy to grow, in fact almost too easy, as it can be hard to control, is the lily of the valley. It will love to take over an area in your garden if you let it. It has a dainty little white bellflower and does look very nice. and the foliage stays all summer, unlike the bulbs. I have some in my garden, and they spread by runners, and I have to get aggressive with them to keep them where I want them. The creeping phlox is another flower I really like, as it provides this blanket of color in the spring and then continues to grace the garden with its foliage throughout the summer. There is also the Hansel and Gretel flower, which has both pink and blue flowers. They are really special. I just discovered the reason for the different colored blooms on the same plant, and it's because the blue blooms have already been pollinated. Isn't that neat? I love the basket of gold. It grows close to the ground. It is covered in these yellow blooms that gives this massive splash of color wherever you need it in your garden. Now let's look at a few beauties in the wildflower category. We'll start off with the trillium, as it is our provincial flower. It is a delight to see, filling the forest with patches of white all over the place. It really likes shade and a fair amount of moisture. There is also a red variety, though the white is what we mostly see. While the jack-in-the-pulpit doesn't have a lot of color, it has a very interesting bloom, with this lip covering the top of a deep cup. The cup collects moisture and drowns insects that then feed the plant. All of these wildflowers are available at your local nursery if you have the right conditions for them to grow. It isn't legal to dig them up in the wild and then plant them in your garden. The forget-me-nots are also a flower that these blue and sometimes white flowers, little blooms, and they just will grow wild wherever you let them. I am going to close this out with the Imperial Crown Lily. It is a good-sized plant with a fairly tall stem, with the blooms at the top facing down. And then it has the extra leaves coming out of the top of its head. It is truly the crowning jewel of any spring garden. I trust you enjoyed this video and enjoying the colors of the spring flowers. I know there are lots more, but some of the flowers we looked at may not be your favorites, but they're the ones that I really enjoy. If you have some that I've missed, let me know in the comments. The worst thing about spring flowers is they don't last long. The great thing is that as soon as one is gone, there's another one ready to take its place and brighten up your garden